Coming up on Healthy Thinking.
In this episode, we speak to the First Minister, Mark Drakeford, about how he hopes new ideas and futuristic thinking will transform lives in Wales.
We will succeed in Wales if we think of going to the doctor not just as visiting a single individual, but going to a team of people who will be available to respond to the needs that we have. We've started on that journey. I think it will stand us in really good stead.
As a former health minister, he knows at first hand the challenges facing the NHS in Wales and how he believes new ideas can change the face of health and social care in the future.
Technology is not fate. Technology is something we need to be using rather than fearing that it is somehow driving us. And that's the public debate we need to have.
Mark Drakeford was also a lecturer and then Professor of Social Policy and Applied Social Sciences at Cardiff University before making the move into politics. He'll explain in this podcast how strategy and social policy can instigate change.
The real trick in government is to try and find those future possibilities that are stretching, that do create a different sort of future, but have a sense of achievability about them as well. And then I think people are willing to come on that journey with us.
This is Healthy Thinking from Life Sciences Hub Wales, a podcast series bringing new perspectives from leading thinkers in health and care innovation. It's presented by Professor Sir Mansel Aylward.
First Minister, welcome to the podcast.
Well, thank you for the invitation to be here. Looking forward very much to the conversation.
Can we first talk about the role of innovation in general? In taking up your new role, you said you wanted the Cabinet to have more time to think about the long term. How do you manage that balance of future thinking, particularly about innovation, and dealing with here and now?
Well, truthfully, it's a struggle because in the political world, and especially in an age of austerity, the demands of the here and now are on top of you all the time. And clawing some time to think about the longer term, to think about innovation, to think about how things might be done differently, it is constantly a struggle. We've changed the way the Cabinet operates so that we have a business cabinet in 1 week where we do the things that have got to be done to keep the business of government going. And in the second week, we have what we're calling a discussion cabinet where we stand back from that daily demand, take a topic that needs more long-term thinking, get people in from outside to help us with that consideration, and try and protect that time to do that sort of wider and more long-term thinking.
How do you persuade others that future long-term investment in innovation, for example, will reap benefits in the short to mid-term? Because there's always an issue about we don't want to wait too long.
Well, I think there are two things that I would say. First of all, I think that on the whole, the public is on our side in this. If you have a proper conversation with people outside government, I think they understand very readily that we, all of us, have to think not simply about the here and now and the things that we want to achieve immediately. They understand themselves. If you are buying a house, you are making an investment in your long-term future. If you're going on a training course, you're investing in something that doesn't pay off for you today, but you think will put you on a path that will get you a reward further on in life. So people all the time make decisions in their own lives that are about how they think about things beyond the day-to-day, and they understand that governments have to do the same. At the same time, as you say, you've got to be able to describe those future things in a way that is both ambitious and achievable. I think one of the things I've learnt in the time that I've worked at the Assembly is that if you set goals that are beyond people's reach, if they don't see any possible way of reaching them, then people's attitude often is just not to try at all. So the real trick in government is to try and find those future possibilities that are stretching, that do create a different sort of future, but have a sense of achievability about them as well,